Now we're live. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Keith here from Commander Hoops Celtic, and I'm here with Liam Christie. At least I'm not saying Ryan Christie this time around. You're certainly welcome back. It's been a while since we've done a stream, and that's down to myself, folks. I do sincerely apologise that there hasn't been many podcasts going out. My laptop is broke, so I'm using the phone for the streaming for at the moment. But we're gonna have a good bit to talk about. Obviously an international week ahead of us for the Republic of Ireland and for Scotland as well for the World Cup qualifiers for Qatar 2022. And then we obviously had the game to talk about yesterday as well. And then the fixtures as well. That's the split fixtures. So much to talk about. You're all certainly welcome in on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. I just want to give a massive thank you as well to whoever has subscribed to the YouTube channel. We've hit the 5,000 subscribers. So, folks, I will be announcing big news in the next couple of weeks for a good cause for mental health awareness. So if you could subscribe to the channel, it would be really appreciated because the platform's getting bigger and bigger. Massive thank you to everyone as well that followed me TikTok channel recently as well. I'm around the corner from 13K as well on Instagram. So Liam, what do you make of yesterday?
It was good that we got the goal, but at the same time, we were dominating possession. We were dominating the amount of shots we had in target. Obviously, McGregor kept some of our shots out. There was really nothing we could do about that. But I think Fit Kennedy mucked up with bringing on the subs within five minutes to go. I mean, if you don't got enough time to get into a game with 5 minutes to go, man. I mean, I just think that I'm just waiting for the season to be over, to be honest, because I'd rather focus in the Scottish Cup. Hopefully we'll get some out of that. But I'm just wanting to roll on for next season.
That's it. It can't come any quicker at this rate. I know you have the Euros to look forward to, and I said I wish it's the very best in the Euros. But with the lineup yesterday, do you think it was a strong lineup that we put out?
I think it was, yeah. I mean, Edward and Scott Brown, they were going on about saying it was a penalty. Personally, I don't think it was a penalty. But, I mean, other people's got different opinions on it. So that's not the thing we should have been moaning about yesterday. I mean, they were there for the taking.
Oh, they were there for the taking. Like, Mohamed Anusi and Edouard were on forward. The link-up play between the two of them were class. You know what? As much as I thought Christie played outstanding yesterday, attacking-wise wasn't effective, but he done the main things. He got stuck in. I thought Laxal was actually pretty well, played well yesterday, as much as he got. Look at the goal we could see. It's just, I know, pressure on John Joe Kenny, and he passed it back to Bain, and then they scored from Morello scored eventually after 15 games. I was just disappointed that there was no one marking Morelos at the back post. Like Kenny was there, and then literally when the ball came in, he just took his eye off him, and then Morelos capitalised from it.
Yeah, we've got that. We've had a lot of problems marking the front post and the back post this season. Sorry, guys, I've got a bit of a cold, so I've got a sore throat. So, no, I've had it for like 2 days. It's something going about. It's definitely no COVID, but it's fine. No, I mean, we've had a lot of problems with set pieces, especially with like free kicks. What I will say is Diego Laxal, he's a good player, but he does give away stupid free kicks, stupid fouls, and that's the way Italians play. But I mean, it's the way Italians have been playing for years. But at the same time, he's got to adapt to the Scottish game.
I completely agree with you. Mm-hmm. I think everything's at the freezing there for a second. You still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Yeah, I'm completely frozen. I don't know what's going on in my side. Just give me 1 second now. I'll come out of it and come back into it because that's madness. That's happening. 2 seconds now.
That's right.
There we are. I'm back in again. Sorry about that.
I thought I was going to be left myself a couple of seconds.
Oi, guys, we didn't take our chances. The same as Ibrox. Kendi was dreadful and wouldn't get him back next season. He's no Frimpong. Frimpong couldn't defend. I thought he was actually he's been decent since he came to Celtic. Just that error yesterday. What about Scott Bain? He nearly scored an own goal. Well, it was hitting off Welch. It's going in.
Yeah, that's what I've been saying. I've been saying this for ages. Scott Brown loves to play from the back, but the problem is he can't play from the back. He can't he can't deliver a decent pass. I mean, it's almost, he thinks it's almost criminal for him to actually like punt the ball up the park. What we need next year is we need guys that are like fit at all and like they can play in midfield and that they
You
actually
see the
get a
centre
hit over.
backs when he was doing the kickouts, he wasn't feeding it to the centre backs like the likes of Welch or Oyer for the runs. He was obviously giving it to John Joe and Laxall. Like, kick the ball up. We've a tall enough midfield there to win the ball. I was disappointed, obviously, with the likes of Rodgers coming on too late. The Griffiths one was an absolute disaster. I felt like Neil Lennon was still taking the charge of that team. Yes, them decisions were reckless.
Well, you never know. I mean, Neil Lennon, there was a couple of rumours, like, I'm not sure if it's true or not, it might be pish, but Neil Lennon, he might have been still contacting them, still running the team. I mean, it could be true. You never know nowadays, man.
How's it going, John? Edward burnt my head out on Sunday. Overplaced the ball. He's scared to hit it. He's too good. There was a cracking ball that was laid onto him from Kenny. And I know it was that extra yard. I don't think he knew he was getting to it. But he did go down as well in the second half. And it wasn't a dive, wasn't simulation. I don't know what you could call it, but he did look at the ref. I'm like, I don't think it was a penalty, personally. Back to the first half, I don't think it was a penalty. I thought it was if it was outside the box, would you give him a free kick? We don't know, but I think he should have took the shot on when he had the chance. I don't know why he paused and then tried to do it.
Yeah, I think Celtic saying that it was a penalty, they're clutching at straws, man. I mean, they've just got to admit that game was there for the taking and they blew it. So it was still one each, but at the same time, you're wanting to win games like that. You're wanting to make a statement. We are a better team than them, football-wise. We are a better team than them, and we've just let them run all over us. And
it's hard to back that statement up. Like, for the last 9 years, obviously players have come and gone. We have been the best team in Scotland. So this season, I think they have been there. They've learned from the mistakes of they went to the Easter Road, got results that Celtic haven't done since 2014. It's just, as you said, defensively, you look at like that goal that went in yesterday was very similar to one in the Bedford Cup. What happened to us for Ross County? Very similar. Like, any team has to take their chances against Celtic when it comes to set pieces. Like, once you get give away foul 40 yards out, they're getting the majority of the opposition are getting their players up, and that's it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't know what they're working on. I don't know if it's the zonal marking or is it man for man, because yesterday it looked like it was zonal marking, to be honest with you.
It's been zonal marking for the full season. It's been zonal marking. But the thing is, you've got to teach your players how to zonal mark set pieces, but they just don't look like they've been doing that, because if they were trained good enough, they would have been doing that. They would have been confident, but they just don't look confident, like defending a set piece from a corner or a free kick, and it's embarrassing.
Well, I'll tell you one thing, Scott Payne pulled off a cracker of a save yesterday. There wasn't really a recognition about that save. That volley was unbelievable. I was like, oh my God, what a save. What a save.
Yeah, that's the one from Ken, yeah.
Yeah, absolute cracking one. Scott Brown had a really good game yesterday. He didn't let the occasion get to him, which I was delighted with. I thought McGregor was brilliant. I thought McGregor really pushed. I was a bit puzzled when Turnbull obviously came off. I was like, why are you taking him off? He had a couple of chances on goal. McGregor pulled off a good save for them, obviously towards the end of the first half. Mohamed's header, but they were definitely there yesterday for the taking. I think in the last two games they were there for the taking. Unfortunately, it didn't work out for us.
No, it didn't work out for us at all. But I seen some really good plays yesterday, especially where we run down the right wing. We ran down the right wing quite a lot, and we did quite a lot of space in that right wing, and we should have capitalised on it. I mean, it could have been 3 or 4 in the first half. But the thing is, when we were defending, we were holding back too much. We were like, we should have been pushing forward, pressing them in our own box, because at times in the second half we couldn't get out our own box. So it was just a really bad game to watch.
There was a bit of anxiety, I think, in the second half towards the last 15 minutes of the game. You know, as you were saying, we couldn't get. It was just there was a bit of pressure there, and even when that ball went past Bain, I thought literally I know went past the side of the post and it goes. I wouldn't be surprised if we actually let a goal in like that. We would have let a goal in similar to that if that was on the other side of the post, because that's the type of goals we've conceded this season.
Yeah, it's just been a really bad season. I speak for every Celtic fan. I mean, we just want a league over and done with.
I couldn't believe it, right? James, he came on yesterday. I know he's obviously only getting back to fitness, and he came on, and I know he's on the left wing, and the ball throwing came to him, and obviously wrong touch and went out. I actually just laughed for a second. I was like, well, give him a chance. He needs to get into the game. He really needs to get in the game. But he didn't play on the right yesterday. He was on the left because Christie was playing on the right.
Yeah, but we've seen Christie this season. He's been running all over the midfield. He's been trying to run every position, and you would just need a manager there just to say, stay there, don't stop running everywhere, stay there, man. Like you've got I mean, that's why I'm saying that we should have maybe wait for David Moyes, because he's a really tactical manager, and he could have been like, fucking stay there, wee man.
Exactly. Well, David Moyes' contract's out in May. A few people were saying to me on TikTok as well. Folks, if you're only watching this now and you're on Facebook or Twitter, I really appreciate if you can go onto the YouTube channel. It's the same name. The link is actually in the bio as well. Give us a little subscribe. We're on the road to 6K now. Hoping we can get 6K before the start of next season, which we're all praying that comes quick, you know. But I'm going to bring up John's comment here on Facebook. Aggression, Bruni and I are the only lads who seemed up for it yesterday. I thought McGregor was up there as well. I think there was a few players, and I have to say Laxall, he done well to cut in. You know, that's a spell of Laxall we've seen when he first actually came to Celtic. You know, we've seen that kind of Laxall. But as I said, I was just annoyed with the subs. I really was annoyed with the subs. We have a Glasgow Derby left, one more left, and I've been saying it, and I've been saying this again. What I seen yesterday, if I was John Kennedy and if I was Brave, it's especially going into the last game of the season, they're not going to do the whitewash overs because he drew yesterday. So we need to just stick two up front, just walk on two up front. You know, if
get a Jetty and Eddie on, get that.
Even Griff. Like if like Scottish people are making a big hiff about Griff not being in the Scotland squad, but to be honest with you, as much as Griffiths has in his locker, he hasn't been playing. So like, why would you be calling up a lad that's not match fit? And that's down to this coaching staff of Celtic as well. They have a big responsibility in this. Like this guy has played for his country many times. He scored over 100 goals for Celtic, and he's not even getting a sniff. You know, fair enough, he came on yesterday for a couple of minutes, but like, that's nothing. That's not going to give him enough. 4 or 5 minutes of a bit of fitness? Like,
yeah, it really annoys me if it like Lenny and Kennedy, they'll put subs on late. I don't like that. I've said that Lenny's first one.
It's since the Ferencváros game. It's been like that. You know, like I don't know what Kennedy's getting from, like, you know, even when we scored yesterday, it's just like a bit of passion. Like, this is a so-called a man that's linked with the job permanently. No passion there.
No passion at all.
His interviews are absolutely terrible, depressing to watch. Fair enough, he conducted himself a decent interview the other day about the no guard of honour. I think obviously the media made a big hoax about it. A lot of Rangers fans didn't care about the guard of honour. You're like, look, it's not going to happen anyway. You know,
I fell asleep during some of his interviews, man. You know,
it's like when it goes up on Celtic TV channel or on the YouTube channel. I'm like, oh my god, 10 minutes! Like this is torture to watch it. You know, but we need a new face. We're going to talk about the managers in a couple of minutes, folks, as well. Let's go through the comments as well. Griff has not been up to scratch this season. He's been a disgrace, you could say, coaching as well. And I completely agree, Alan. Completely agree. You know, as I said, this is a lad that if he wants to get in the Scotland squad, and I'll be honest, Scotland don't have that much great strikers there. You know, like there's not enough out there. You have McBurney and
London
Dykes. You know, So we'll see. This keeps freezing, so I'm going to keep talking away anyway. But if you get to stretch in, you get 6 games in the remaining 6 games of the Scottish Cup, you'll have a chance of making the Scotland squad for the Euros.
Yep, especially if you're like a goal scorer in the Scottish Cup final. If you get to the Scottish Cup final, that is, I mean, you're basically a hero to your team. If you get like, I mean, a lot of people, if we get to the final, I know a lot of people are going to be like, oh, it's only the Scottish Cup. But, I mean, it's a Scottish Cup. It's 125 years now. So, I mean, if you win the Scottish Cup, then it's still a cup to your team's history.
Well, do you know what? At least there is a Celtic player playing a hand them at the moment. Luke O'Connell, man, the match the other day.
Yeah, I heard some really good things about him.
I know it's League Two with Scottish football, but look, this guy needs to play. I know it's only a short term move, like a loan move, but we need to get him as much football as we can because a corner that he scored and they use will man the match as well.
Yeah, he's still young, so as long as he keeps on impressing, then I don't see why not. He could probably be in the squad within 2 years if he stays consistent, which will be really good for him. I mean, Ryan Christie, he was on loan for 2 years at Aberdeen after we bought him, and he just needed that experience because we knew we weren't going to play him at the time.
Look at Oyer went on loan. Look at one player that hasn't worked out for him on loan moves is obviously someone asked me actually yesterday morning before the game. Anthony Rolson, what's going on with his career? I just think he's going to be another one that's going to be gone this summer. I know he has a contract there for another 2 years, but I think I could see him going.
Yeah, he did play a couple of European games for us 2 years ago, and he had a run in the team. But at the same time,
that's when we had a good coach. We had an actual good coach, Brendan Rodgers. You know, obviously his comments last week. I don't agree with his comments last week. What he said that the show should show a bit of class, but he was in that situation 2 years ago when that other team didn't show us class in Ibrox. You know, when we were champions, when we saved the league against Aberdeen.
Yeah, I just think Brendan Rodgers, he's got his opinion. I've got mine. I don't agree with him, so. It's best like we just leave him to say what he says because he's no longer our manager anymore. So
that's it.
Yeah,
that's it. Like, and obviously, you know what headlines to say to irritate Celtic fans, you know. And I just don't know. I just feel weird about Brendan. You know, it's just like we go back to when Lennon obviously left, and we're like, oh Jesus, Rodgers really was a good manager. We don't know what's going on behind the scenes, but I think right now, obviously, with the Six Nations being completely done, Dominic McCoy should be in that door. No question about it.
Yeah, definitely. I think so. But I think that Peter Lawwell is there till, is it May?
What's more hurting in your eyes? Be honest with me, because I was looking at this today on Sky Sports News, looking at the gap of 20 points or the way that we've messed up this season.
It's the way we've messed up this season. I think. I think that see if Rangers beat us and it went down to the wire, then I wouldn't have been so disappointed.
You can accept and you say, look, we matched them every game, and then unfortunately 1 game or 2 games, that was it. Because at the start of the season, I was saying, look, this is going to be, we could do this by 16 points. And look at now, you know, don't always be careful what you wish for at the end of the day. Big time. I'm just going to refresh the stream, folks. He's going to say, oh, there, it's back to normal now. Happy days. Once I press the refresh button. Right, folks, go through the comments there. I do apologise. How's it going, Willie? We should have won yesterday. I felt, to be honest with you, after that game yesterday, I felt disappointed. I felt like it was a loss. I felt like a loss because we played actually well. We did play well. Like, attacking wise, we played really good. Defensively, we were still rocky. But Laxall played well. Kenny had spells in the game. The 2 boys, you know what? Welch done everything perfect yesterday.
Yeah, everything perfect. He's definitely going to keep his first team place. I think he's a really good, solid defender. But see, when he come, I mean, I heard something today that the international manager for Laxalt, it's that national country, Norway.
Laxalt is Uruguay.
What?
Laxalt. You said Laxalt. Laxalt is Uruguay.
No, sorry. I meant to say Azure. Sorry.
Yeah.
Right. So, my mistake, folks. Anyway.
Well, look. It's. I know what you mean. Yeah. I heard that. So, I heard as well.
So Azure basically, his manager's told him, for his international team that he's not to play for Celtic anymore, and I'm thinking, what's up with that? Is he wanting him to play for a Norwegian team? What?
Look, I understand the Norwegian team are an exciting team coming through. Like the players, obviously have that lad that's on loan from Real Madrid at Arsenal. Obviously the best striker at the moment, the lad that plays for Dortmund as well, Haaland. He's just been absolute class. Like they have a real good side. Obviously Mohamed Anusi plays them as well. They're an exciting team. I understand where they're coming from. I think they're going to be like the new Belgium. Give it about 3 or 4 years to have some class there, they'd be in the top 10 in the world rankings. But the argument's sake to this is what if Celtic are in the Champions League next season? Is that still not good enough for his standards?
Well, he should see before coming out with stupid statements like that. He should be saying, all right, well, Celtic have had a good season this season, but are they going to bring in new management that will reinvent them? Which is going to happen. I'm not sure if it's going to reinvent us for the good or for the bad, but it will. It will reinvent us in some way. It'll certainly be better than what Kennedy's been doing or Lenny's been doing. I mean, I just want a tactical manager that's all about tactics, all about playing decent football instead of a shouting and balling manager. Like
just going into the manager now of Norway. I'm just going to have a look at him now. The head coach. Let me see now. So who has he managed? He's managed Copenhagen. He was the Copenhagen manager for 7 years. I actually remember that guy, the bodyhead lad. Managed Wolves back in 2012 for half a season. Cologne, Copenhagen. So I think what's this all this about Billy Davis?
Billy Davis. Was that the other day?
People are saying about Billy Davis.
If somebody can mention that in the chat, let us know.
Billy Davis. Who the hell is Billy Davis? I don't even know who Billy Davis is.
Did he not play for Derby?
That guy hasn't managed in years.
I don't
see.
Billy Davis.
Last time Billy Davis managed was Nottingham Forest back in 2013. Now, people might argue and say, well, Roy Keane hasn't managed it since 10 years, but Roy Keane has been around the football world. He's obviously had the likes of dealing with Martin O'Neill at the Ireland Fold in Nottingham, and obviously with Paul Lambert at Villa. Oh my God!
Hold on.
I'd rather take Jack Ross.
He played for Rangers 13 times.
I see that there. Yeah, look at that. I don't always believe the wiki. I always believe the wiki, but I'm looking at that myself. Oh my
He played
God.
for St Mirren 74 times.
Oh, if we get Billy Davis, there will be absolute murder outside Celtic Park. He's not good enough for that job, not whatsoever. I'd rather take Jack Ross. Do you know what? I'd actually rather keep John Kennedy in charge than Billy Davis in that rate.
Yeah, man. I mean, right. Well, you can always argue if Paul Lambert, Ken Dalglish, they were Rangers fans.
But, yeah, but at least Paul Lambert actually has a decent CV. That's the difference.
Yeah. I mean, he plays for St Mirren, Motherwell, Hamilton. No, he played for Dunfermline. So, I mean, he managed Derby for a year. I thought he played for them, but he managed them. I think I'm thinking about somebody else there.
He just looks like that uncle, that gobshite of an uncle at a wedding that just doesn't shut up in the corner shouting around. That's what he looks like. And see,
Yeah.
But we'll move on from it. So, regards to the manager, obviously we've been linked with Man City's 23 manager, Maresca. I can't see him work. I can't see him happening. Obviously, he's worked with Pep and he's worked with Pellegrini and stuff like that. He does have experience of being second man, but do you know what? It's mad to think the likes of Xabi Alonso, he's gone to Borussia Mönchengladbach.
He just got in there recently, and I'm not sure if Celtic looked him or not.
I don't know, because he was doing a good job with the Sociedad. I think he was doing the reserves of Sociedad as well and the youth system. But I can't, like, if this Eddie Howe thing, I can't see Eddie Howe coming to Celtic. It's gone on too long now.
Yeah,
too
it
long.
has. It's been rumoured it's been bookie sites. It was favourite takeover now. Roy Keane's favourite to take over. And
what do you think of Roy Keane personally? Do you think he could bring something different to the table? Do you think he's good enough to manage Celtic?
He's got the CV now. He has managed teams. I'm not sure if Celtic's looking for another shouting ball manager, because you would get that for Keane. They wouldn't take any shit off anybody, but at the same time, is he going to bring in players that are characters in the game? There's no hard men left in football. The only hard men you get now is Big Zlatan and Sergio Ramos. That's the only hard men left in football now.
That's it.
Would Roy Keane fit quality?
I think if you get like the likes of Martin O'Neill in as a director of football for Celtic and Roy Keane as a manager, I'd actually be happy with that. As much as I don't know where we'd go with Roy Keane. I don't know if it would be a big change, because he has the Champions League experience. Obviously, playing in the Champions League for United, he knows how big Champions League nights is. Obviously, he's an Irish lad, but it could be a case that, like, with Kane, could be he might just lose the rag, and then he might not win over the fans as well. So, like, regardless who we talk about on this channel, it should be a manager or not should be a manager. People are going to agree or disagree. Every person has their pros and cons on their CV. I think Rafa Benitez is never going to happen. Never going to happen. Because the way
we could hope, but I mean, I don't think it's going to happen.
Like, Eddie Howe should have happened by now. Eddie Howe, like, they should have just turned around and said, right, look, folks, even the season books, we have a manager insights. Like, you need to come out and say, look, we've been talking to people. Well, once we have an update with a new manager being on board, because now they have no choice they can do it now. They can't say because they have an internal manager in there. If they go cheap with Kennedy, I think they were going back 4 steps.
All the stands up top tiers would be shut if we went with Kennedy. I'm just looking at the comment there. It said, "Well said, Paul."
Paul was one of the lads at the comment up there.
Oh, okay. I was getting confused. I thought it was Paul, man. Lisbon, don't know how much about him.
That's the comment.
Yeah, see the thing with Martinez and Maloney? I would like that, but at the same time, we would have to wait after Euros. And I think a lot of Celtic fans are speaking, like, saying that, well, we want to know who the manager is before we actually invest £600 in a season ticket.
I just think it's gonna be a name that we're gonna be like, I suppose it's not that bad of a name. That's what it's gonna be. I don't think we're gonna get a box office manager.
Well, I'm hoping we do, but I think Celtic are taking their time right now about this, but they've not really come out with many statements saying who the manager's going to be. And Kennedy's made it adamantly clear that he doesn't want to be manager of Celtic. He has. So they've got to come out with some statement to get the fans excited.
And even the Red Bull Salzburg manager, he said that he would be interested in the job, but he's not. He still has a contract with Red Bull. So if Celtic are ambitious about getting a good coach, you should be going for a manager that's actually in work. Like, for example, we done with Martin O'Neill. Martin O'Neill was doing good things at Leicester, 2 League Cups. They were top. They were top table team in English football. So
yeah, Martin O'Neill's still got unfinished business for Celtic. I mean,
you see the passion of him yesterday. What do you think of him? You could see in him that it was hurting him. Like, you could see that he wanted to step in there, but at the same time, I was looking at it, I was like, Jesus, he's aging. I don't know if he still has the brain power to manage that team now these days.
He's got a master's degree at university. He's fine, man. I mean, he made Chris Boyd look like shit yesterday. It was brilliant.
He did.
Oh, it was amazing, man.
Oh,
Martin was to take any shite.
that's it. The enforcer, big man. But no, it's like Jess March, obviously Red Bull Salzburg's manager. He's pretty looks pretty well.
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, Red Bull Salzburg, they've done brilliant in Europe recently.
Sure, they were played. Sure, they had the lead against Liverpool in Anfield last season for most
Yeah,
of the game.
yeah, they did, man. I mean, they have got a good quality team. They've played us as well. And in the past couple of years, was it 2 years ago they played us?
Yeah,
Yeah. So I mean, they're not mugs, and for a manager to set up the way they play. I mean, I've seen them play a few times, and they play quality. So, like, I know if it's saying he's still under contract, and he's a man. It's obvious he's a man of his word. So that shows he's got a good character. So I'm not sure if in the future he will be a manager at Celtic, but he's saying not just now. But I'm interested.
I think some of these managers are kind of being reluctant because they don't know where we don't know where Celtic is going as a club. Is either they're going to go backwards or they're going to go forwards. And I hate saying that word backwards because there's not clarity even there for non supporters to say, well, this is a 3-year plan. We're gonna fight to get back to the league next season. We're gonna get into European football. We're gonna sign players like decent players because like I'm more concerned about what's going to happen summer. Who's actually going to be here as a manager and who's staying and who's going. Like like we had players like yesterday. I was thinking like Rodgers came off the bench. I was like, this could be Rodgers' last ever game against Rangers at Celtic Park. I was thinking there could be Brownies, even though I want Brownie to stay. This could be Lee Griffiths, could be Edward. Like you're looking at all these players on the pitch and you're saying majority of these are going to be gone next season.
Yeah, basically the thing with a team transformation is you can't get rid of too many players in the team because they guys train week in, week out with each other. They hang about together. They play games together. They're mates. You can't just ruin that morale of the squad because if you say if you took out about 8 players in that squad and you brought 8 new players in, there'd be more negativity in the division, if you like. So you've got to be really careful when you're going for players.
Exactly, because when you're saying there is when I'm taking that, you're saying maybe 8 or 9 players gone, and then you have some sort of senior experience there, like the likes of Callum McGregor, David Turnbull. If we're still here, Julian's back fit. You're getting these boys that could be coming from like the likes of Motherwell or Hibs, even Aberdeen, and I know they've obviously played against the likes of Rangers and other teams in the league, but will they have when the 60,000 fans in a stadium, when I hope it does happen, are they gonna rise to that level? Are they gonna feel like they're playing for a massive club and you know how important it is to step up to that level? You know?
Well, I think that the players this season, the players that have came in, the new players that have came in, they've come in at the worst time they could, a global pandemic. So they're basically in a bubble. They're going to training.
Like the only player that has impressed this season of the signings has been Turnbull. Like Laxall won in what 15, 16 games as a decent game. I know, like as I said at the start of the podcast, he was when he signed for Celtic, he looked pretty promising. Like obviously that goal at Easter Road and stuff like that, he played well, and it just went down to Swally. I know obviously Taylor came back in, got his place, and on Taylor played quite well. Like you can't fault Laxall yesterday. I thought he played he didn't give away stupid fouls. He got stuck in. So as I was saying, I thought he played quite well. I'm just weary what's going to happen summer. I really am weary. As I said, we're going through a couple of chapters in the next couple of months. Like how many season books are going to be renewed is a big thing. When's the next manager going to come in? Who's going to be our captain next season? You never know. Like Callum might leave the club as much as he loves the club. An offer might come in, you know?
Yeah, if an offer comes in, especially this tough time from the club, you've got to take it. I mean, if an offer comes in for Edward, like
the money is not going to be right for Edward. I'm telling you now, I think we're going to get absolutely robbed blind on this Edward deal. regardless who it is. Because the PSG get 40% of the sell-on clause.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 40%. At the time when they said 40%, I was like, 40%. That is too much. Too much. They should have went for at least 20%, like at the most, because like if you want a player that much and you want to give the 40% sell-on clause, I mean, it's just it hurts you in the long run. It does hurt.
I think the difference with Edouard, obviously Edouard and Tierney, is with the likes of Edouard, you get the likes of PSG trying to intervene, saying, and agents will try to intervene and say, well, look, Celtic, you better let him go. We want to get a portion of this. You know, that's what's going to happen, because Edouard will go to England. I think he'll go to the Premier League, to be honest. I can't see him going to France. There hasn't been much of him. And if you're 23 years of age and you had a chance to play for your senior team, the world champions, and if you go to the Premier League, you have a chance of getting in there. I'd be gone. Be gone. He's done enough at Celtic. He's won everything at Celtic.
Yeah, you know? what we need is a tall centre forward. That's what we need. A tall, stocky centre forward. Just like Big Bad John, you know what I mean?
There's not many of them around the football these days.
No, I know. You just have to look about for them. But I would like a big centre forward, but you know, just so we get somebody to actually cross the ball into them. That's what Celtic.
Do you think we should have sold Edouard as much as we didn't? Everybody was like, no at the time. You look at the time, like say last September, if the money came in right for Edouard, we could have got 25 million.
Yeah, I think we should have took it.
Look, I know he's at the scoring what? He scored 9 goals in 10 games or something.
Yeah, I mean, for 25 million,
that's new.
You can get a bunch of decent players for 25 million. You know what I mean? I
think honestly with you, I think when it comes to like, we're expecting to probably get potentially, if Oyer, Edouard, other players go, we're looking at probably around say 20 million with a couple of players, you know, a couple of 1 or 2 million players as well getting sold off. I think about 10 million of that, whatever it is, will go straight into like a parachute fund to make sure that they're catching up on the finances. So the club's been hit, like every club's been hit this season, the previous season, with the pandemic.
Well, football's not going to be the same next year. I think for the first 6 months of the season next year, you're going to have quite a lot of players like him. We should keep most of our team for next season because, like, they need to feel that crowd inside the park.
There's a lot of players that will only have 1 year left in their contract as well next season. Like Griffiths going on to them. I personally think it's time for Lee to move on. I wish him the very best.
Yeah, I think he's definitely going to Hibs. I think he is. I said that in a few of these podcasts we've done.
What's the point of having a player that's only going to play 10 minutes, 20 minutes? Like he's 20 30 years of age, and like he still has in his locker. We're not playing him. I know we've Edouard there, but like he could have. I realistically think he should have took Edouard off around the 60th minute yesterday. You could see Edouard was getting tired.
Yeah, definitely. I'm just really angry if it. Like we've got players in the bench that are worth millions, such as Barkas. You've got Barkas, you've got Ajeti. We've also got Kamala. We should be playing them, and it's like we've not got a decent starting 11 that we can trust or rely on, and it's just I just think it's embarrassing, you know, for a club of our stature.
I think Celtic will do very similar to what he done this season. I think there'll be a lot of loan moves going back out. I think the likes of, I can probably see Boyle going back out on loan. If an offer doesn't come out for Chavez, he's going to go back on loan again. I want Henry to come back as much as people we've all slated Henry in the past. Like he's had to get a Scotland call up. He's been linked with Villa. I don't know if this 10 million thing it's just a hoax or whatever it is. The Birmingham Times put the article up, but like he's obviously proved himself. The Belgium league is a tough league. Like there's some really good teams in Belgium league.
Yeah, I would say well, obviously we know of it when they had regular starts for Celtic, he wasn't the best, but I mean, that comes with age and experience. So if he's playing good in Belgium, he's got the Scotland call up. When he comes back alone, give the boy a couple of games alongside Welsh. What's wrong with that?
That's it. Young side there. They'll actually be looking forward to that. That's not a bad shout. I keep thinking of Welsh because it could be Welsh and Iron next season with Julian.
Yeah, I think as much as he missed Julian, he has had his faults as well, but every player in that team's had their faults this season. So, he's cut out just now. All right, I'm just going to keep on talking. So what I said was every player's had his fault this season, and there's not really much we can do about it now because we've lost the league, obviously. So it's completely unavoidable.
I
but
just had to jump out there for a second.
He's just come in. Yeah, he's just come in just now. I was just keeping all the viewers entertained there with my
I gone frozen, right? But we move on to the Scotland thing. So there's going to be no knee on Thursday. Do you agree with it? Disagree? I think it's a great.
Well, Leigh not being in the Scotland squad, I mean, he's only got himself to blame because.
No, I mean the knee, like the knee for against racism, not Leigh. Sorry,
I thought you meant Leigh.
No,
another podcast fault error. So anyway, no, I mean what Celtic and Rangers done Sunday. They actually stood up. They basically stood up as a protest against racism. So anybody saying that, like, I never took a knee, it's like bullshit. I mean, you look at that boy from, who do you call him? I'm trying to think. What's that boy's name, man? He plays for Bournemouth. He was the only player that never took a knee. It was last week.
But a lot of teams in the championship now are not doing the knee. Some people think that it's being overused, it's being worn out. Like there is different ways to show your support against racism.
Yeah, definitely. I think that my opinion on it is, without getting too political, I think that like the media's used it as a distraction to other stuff in the world going on. So I mean, right, it's really bad what happened to that guy in America with the police being brutal towards him, but I think we should have a week of solidarity and show respect to that guy by taking the
George Floyd. Yeah, I think that. Well, when's that going to be in? I think that's going to be in what, in May, June.
Yeah, I think it's May, but I think that we should have 1 week of solidarity in the football world, then moved on, just the same as any important political figure, or any celebrity, or any footballer died. We showed solidarity and we paid tribute to them. For 1 week, and then we'd move on. Like, that's what we should have done.
At the end of the day, we talked with Glenn Kamara, and we talked with any human being as being racially abused or abused in any way online or by a footballer or by a fan. We talked with them. Because at the end of the day, majority of these posts you're seeing online, it's trolls. It's people that think that they're bigger. You have a few drinks down them, they think that they're a hard man, or they set up a fake profile and they have no picture, and they like, look at the stuff that was sent to Shane Duffy a couple of weeks ago. Like that stuff is absolutely horrible to see. But we need to stand together. So as I said, I put a post earlier on Instagram saying, okay, we're all human beings, regardless what football team we support, what religion we are, where we come from, what our beliefs are. We should treat people with a bit of respect. If someone treats you with disrespect, the best thing to do is kill them with kindness. You either block them. You don't retaliate and go back into it, because that's not the way you do it. Because there's a chance that you're going to lose your profile, and that's what they're doing there. They're going to nitpick at you. So
I mean, we get trolls all the time, but we always find it funny and entertaining. I mean, sometimes when we're having a conversation, we see the funny side of it, because it is quite funny. But when they start going on about child abuse, racism, that's where we draw a line and they get blocked off the channel, and rightly so.
And that's it. Like, at the end of the day, I've gone through experience, obviously, on TikTok of people coming in saying, trying to get personal things at me, and I always say is like, I just pipe it down just around and say, look, I'm not going to retaliate to you and see what you think. I'm just going to use the block button. And you set another profile up, just use a blocker again, because it hurts them that they have to go out that way and do it again. But as I said, kill people with kindness. It's like, I've worked in call centre work for years and years. You get an irate customer on the phone, let them vent, and then they run out of steam. You know, and then you kill them with kindness. If you can't accept that, you're a bigger person walking away from it. Say, look, no, what? I done what I could. I was raised up a better person.
Well, I was working in a call centre once, and basically there was this English guy. I'm not saying that all English like this, but there was this old English guy. He was probably a Tory. He sounded like one, and he was like, "I can't understand."
We're not gonna get political on this channel.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. No, it was just a joke there. Anyway, he was like, "I can't understand you. You got a really thick Scottish accent. You might as well be one of the darkies." I was like, "What?" And I was like, honestly, I had to take a break in the phone for 5 minutes. I had to say to my supervisor, I was just like, this is what he's just said. And I had a Bob Marley t-shirt at the time, because obviously Bob Marley's my favourite artist.
It was his birthday a couple of weeks ago. 70, the man himself, the legend.
Yeah, he was a legend. I liked him ever since I was born, because my Auntie Katie, she would be the biggest Bob Marley fan I knew. She had posters of all over the wall. And I would just listen to him constantly. I still do. But I had to say to my supervisor, and he was like, I take a break for 5 minutes. I mean, guy's just a prick.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I actually seen that. I haven't sent it to Liam because I seen that actually there on. A friend of mine sent me that, and I was literally disgusted. I think at the end of the day, as I said, regardless what football team you support, whatever you put on, that doesn't make you hard man by doing all these little bragging things. Well, you know, if you don't like a footballer, you just say in your mind, don't put it on the screen and don't make a more deal out of it. You know, at the end of the day, they get paid to do a job. You get paid to score goals. You get paid to play for a team.
See, without being using racist language or anything, what was actually said to me, Ross? I've heard about it, but I'm not
not going to say it on this channel.
Was it really bad? But
yeah, it was disgusting, and it actually got me angry of the behaviour of the person that done it. You know, I just think he needs to have a look at himself and realise there was no need for it. There was no need for it. It was a Snapchat story that wanted to get viewers wrong. People annoyed.
Yeah, like Glenn and Alfredo, they're only footballers that are playing for a rival team. They're basically doing a job at the end of the day. And they don't need to put up with that abuse. I mean, obviously, when they're playing against us, they'll have a dig at us because of their rivals. But I mean, that's all about putting arses in the seats sometimes, you know.
Well, that's what happens in football. Like, there is going to be that hatred there, but it needs to. I think there's a different level. Fair enough, at the games, there's people are going to say awful things, and they should be punished. You know, like if you're paying for a season book or you're paying for a ticket, act responsibly, because there's kids around you. So if you're going to go up and start screaming F and this and F and that, and use certain horrible chants at a footballer of an opposition, what does that show you about yourself?
Yeah. Basically, we've all been guilty of a Rangers Celtic game getting carried away sometimes, but at the end of the day, like on your season book, it says Celtic home and away, you're representing your club. It does say that in the season book, so basically treat others as you like to be treated, don't be a dick.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. So, we're going to move on from that anyway. As I said, we talked with Glenn Kamara, talked with Roof as well. Roof got a horrible message sent to him the other night as well. And I said, it's not just Rangers players that are getting this. Loads of footballers are getting it from other teams. And it's not on. It's not on. Like I said, it's not. You shouldn't be disrespecting someone if they're Catholic, if they're Protestant, or they're Muslim. You know, at the end of the day, we're all human beings. You know, they're going out there, do a job, and that's it. So I don't tolerate racism. I think it's absolutely disgusting, because at the end of the day, they're brought into this planet to grow up and treat everybody equal.
It's not what our club was based on, to be racist towards anybody. I mean, it's just wrong. And anybody that's racist should be arrested by the authorities. I mean, they should be. It's a no-brainer. But I've seen a couple of disgusting memes regarding Clyde Kamara today, and big respect to any fans that called him out on it, which they did. I mean, there was memes on Facebook and fans would call them out saying that you give a club a bad name, and by the meme they actually posted. I'm not going to say what the meme is, but
what needs to be done is, Liam, a verification process needs to be brought in. Basically, especially with Facebook, just bring in a passport thing, some sort of identification, bring it in, and if this person doesn't have a passport, doesn't have any age card or driving license, whatever,
birth certificate,
straight away, gone. They're not allowed onto these platforms, because it's the way the social media world is going now. One bad comment, one bad video, you're shamed for life. You're hated for life. You know.
Yep.
Yeah. That video could be up for the rest for God knows how long. So you want to have.
I mean, say me and you are talking just now, right? Say if I say anything racist, sectarian just now, then obviously this is live and it's a stream. So even if it got deleted, it's all somebody's going to screen capture
exactly.
it, and it's always going to be in your record for life. Especially, a lot of workplaces have a social media policy just now. So if they catch you like misbehaving on social media, then you're going to be fired for your job as well, and you're going to lose your house and possibly your relationship.
True. Well, let's move on. As people are asking me in the comments, I appreciate everyone watching tonight, by the way. I appreciate it. I hope you're all doing well. I hope the hangovers are not too bad, because it could be worse. You could be start drinking at 11 o'clock in the morning and finish at 4 o'clock. waking up the Domino pizza beside you. You're like, what the hell?
I had a few drinks yesterday. I'm actually not that bad.
That's why I didn't do a podcast. It's not because I would have made it an absolute arse. I just said, you know what? I'm enjoying the occasion. I'm enjoying just having a few cans, taking the football in, communicating with other people. That's the whole point of it at the end of the day. I want to say to people as well, I do have t-shirts in the background. So if anyone want to buy a t-shirt, they're going for £12. It's basically the reason why these t-shirts are being made. The Facebook page is a decade old. Tomorrow, I set up the page 10 years ago. I can't believe how quick that's gone in, 10 years, I've seen a lot of great Celtic moments. We've had some great times on the page, and the Facebook page, people raising awareness for mental health during the pandemic. We've had good times. I've interviewed former players. The page has gone a long way, and the platforms are expanding. And I have some lovely people from opposition football teams that support me content, because I show a bit of respect. I treat everyone with respect. But if you want to buy a t-shirt, folks, drop me a mail on one of the platforms. The link's in the bio on Instagram. If you have Instagram or whatever, just drop me a mail. You can get in touch with me. There's ways to get in touch with me. There's loads of platform ways. So just give me a mail. They're going for 14, as I said, 12 quid, 14 quid delivery UK, and then worldwide shipping. Different colours. We even have a black and pink. So we've had over 70 people bought one. Even Liam bought one himself.
Yeah, even me, man.
The black and green one.
I was really happy with my delivery timing, because I hate late deliveries, but I mean, I never Monday for it, so it was all right.
I can, you know what, the company that does it for me, I can actually, that A-game, there hasn't been any missed deliveries, there hasn't people getting irritated with the quality or the way it's washed, like it's like, they're happy with it. And I've had many people saying that they would buy again, because they think it's quite good, the price.
Yeah, I'm thinking of getting the dark green one, because that looks really smart as well. I bought the black one. So basically, like, this website's really easy to navigate as well, because sometimes websites are not that easy.
I just send you straight to we do kid size. I send you there's 4 different types of tailored t-shirts that you can get. You can get the newer version. You get the ones that were released in January, kid size, and then we have girls ones as well. But Scotland on Thursday night, nervous against Austria. Austria are a good side now.
Well, I think we've got that momentum. Obviously, it wasn't a good game for the final playoff game. It wasn't good because it went to penalties, and I don't like when it goes to penalties because it's a lot of pressure. But once we got through there, I think that's kind of set the mark. So hopefully we can get a result for the World Cup qualifiers in Thursday. I'm not sure what the team's going to be like.
Did you see what Stephen Reid said about the whole racism stuff? He said if there's any sort of abuse at the game, the whole team are walking off, and he's right. He's right. You seen what happened to the Champions League with Istanbul with Demba Ba?
Mm-hmm.
If anything happens like that, it's the only way UEFA are actually going to cop onto it. You know, it's the only way teams will walk away.
I think UEFA could do a bit more.
Oh, 100%. Like they're big, this big pro, like saying no to racism, give racism the red card and all. You need to push it. But Scotland, I think they'll beat Austria Hamden. They need obviously these whip of games. I know the qualifiers for the World Cup. They need these whip of games for preparation for the Euros. And I wish he's the best in the Euros. I know he's all hoping off for a miracle against England.
Yeah.
And not a miracle. It's like, okay, England are a good team. They really are a good team. They have quality players. But they're playing in Wembley. Like, I don't know if it's going to be with the fans or without the fans. We'll see.
I think it will be with the fans. I think that's going to happen. I think there's going to be.
Do you think it'd be strange? It could be like, you're seeing with the Premier League where they had the kind of, the gaps, obviously the seats, and then you think it'd be a case. Well, argument's sake, Wembley is 90,000, right? So even you get 40,000 in. 40,000.
No, I think that if the vaccines keep on gaining momentum like they have been recently, I think that it could be a full stadium. Could be a full stadium at Hampden as well because everybody's vaccinated. I think I'm doing my vaccination next month. I haven't been confirmed yet.
You won't be on the podcast. You'll be in bits for 3 days. You will.
Yeah, well, my friend's a school teacher, and he said that he had to get a vaccination, obviously because working at the school. But same age as me, I'm 30. No, I'm only joking. I'm 36. But he had a dead arm for like a day, and then he had flu symptoms the next day. So
see, a vaccination is always going to put a strain of virus in you to fight your body. That's the way vaccinations are done. So it's the way it's like the winter flu jab. That's the way. It's the way your body is. It's only a percentage of that virus goes into your immune system to fight it. That's all it is. But you're gonna develop. There's been different opinions on this vaccination. People said nosebleeds and fevers and stuff, and then a couple of days later. But regards to the football, I think he's gonna beat Austria. I think it's gonna be a scrappy 1-0. You think David Marshall will play in goal for you?
Yeah, I'd like David Marshall to continue to play in goal because he saved us in that penalty shootout, and not so much saved us because we were doing good. But
to be honest, he was a brilliant the first half. Second half, he was all right. I think that you could see with the Scottish team with away in Serbia that the legs were getting tired. Like they had a couple of chances, especially. I know they obviously scored from that corner, that set piece, but. Well done to Steve Clarke. He won't take the Celtic job.
No, I think he's going to be like another Craig Brown. I think he's going to be for Scotland for at least 8 to 10 years.
Do you think so?
I think it will. Because see if he has a successful European campaign, they'll obviously keep him in for the World Cup campaign, and they'll push to get to the World Cup, which would be brilliant for Scotland because we've not been in the World Cup since 1998. So I'm sure my age, I was 14 then.
So that's a long time. A long time. Remember, they used to have the McDonald's France footballs used to get into Happy Meals and all. Little FIFA.
Yeah, you had the wee France 98 toys as well.
Yeah, well, look, at Ireland were in the 98. We were in the 2002. It's a long time ago. We're going to talk about Ireland anyway. Ireland are playing Serbia away. We have a goalkeeper crisis at the moment. I think Travers has been brought in. Kelleher is not fully fit. I think Westwood was brought in as well. Randolph is injured. I'd like to see Randolph come to Celtic. I would like to see Randolph. I don't think he would come to he would come to Celtic because he's a Celtic fan, but I don't know if he's willing to take the pay cut to come to Celtic. I know he played for Motherwell.
Yeah, you've got Duffy playing for you at centre back as well, so I'm not sure if he'll play a different game to the game he plays with Celtic. He has had a couple of good games for Celtic, but he's just not been consistent. But he might play. PS, thanks for the medical. Dr. Keith and Dr. Liam.
That's it. Dr. Christie.
Hopefully, it's got a good ring to it, but I can't see me as a doctor.
Hopefully you can get Ryan. Hopefully you get your cousin actually banging a few goals in now.
I've went through all the family tree. He's from Inverness. I've not got anybody down in Inverness is related to me, so I'm like,
True. I'll take a draw away to Serbia. Serbia are a good team. They're a really good team. Is Kolarov still playing for him? I think he's still playing for him, is he? Kolarov.
I think he was. Yeah, I think he was playing. Was he not playing against Scotland in that game? I'm not sure if it was.
And Jovanovic. I think is Jovanovic playing for him? Or is that a different country? Am I getting confused?
Hold on.
I think.
I'm not sure if Jovanovic plays for. Hold on. He plays in the same colours as Serbia. But
just correct that, folks. I'm not looking at the laptop or the phone here. The laptop's out of business because I was a stupid fool. What happened was I was doing a live on TikTok last week, and I decided, let's have a few cans of Guinness. Guinness all over the laptop. Spilled it. So I have the thing in rice. Having it in rice the last 2 weeks. If it doesn't work, I'm gonna have to suck it up and pay for a new laptop or buy. I only got the laptop 3 months ago. I'm raging, absolutely raging.
I'd be raging as well. I mean, if you just get a new laptop, it's happened to me a couple of times. I've had a new laptop and it's bloody broke for some reason.
I feel like I might just ring. I might ring up Gavin Strachan and ask him, can I have it under his laptop?
It looks like I built a laptop.
I wonder if he gets to keep the laptop if he leaves Celtic. That's what I wonder.
I would. I'd make him pay for it if he wants it.
Hope he's gone soon. Can't believe I missed your whole show. I said we're just having a chat tonight. As we haven't been on in about 2 weeks because of my laptop, the Gavin Strachan I call it. So yeah.
All right, Red, how you doing? I've not heard from you in a while, pal.
Red's always booming away on the other podcast. It's great to see you. I have nothing against Steve Clark, and why would I? Because he's always been a good Celtic man, but sadly he hasn't shown significant quality and outlook. It's what we need. I honestly, if it came to the case that Steve Clark was appointed after the Euros, I wouldn't be bogged down about it because he knows the game. He actually knows the game. Like, I think a lot of people would rather Steve Clark than Roy Keane.
Yeah, I mean, you seen what he done with Kelly, Steve Clark.
Here's a question for you.
Yeah.
Say if you didn't get into Euros, would you consider Steve Clark?
Well, we'd certainly be one of the top 5 candidates, yeah.
Even though, fair enough, he done well with Kitty, West Brom. He's done a great job with West Brom.
Yeah.
I know international football is completely different to club football. I know, but you think that's kind of pushing him up the ladder because he's actively working as well with some of these players?
Well, yeah, I mean, they might say, well, we work very well with this manager, so bring him in. They might give some of the players' opinion. Would you like to see this manager? And I mean, you never know what's going on behind the doors.
And if it was a case of Steve Clark, would you accept Stephen Reid as his number 2, or would you be looking at a Celtic relation number 2? Like even Sean Maloney coming in with Steve Clark.
Well, the thing is, I agree with, my opinion is, if you bring a manager in, you want him to pick the number 2. Like, just don't throw him with Kennedy. You want him to pick the number 2, and you want him to pick the backroom staff team. Like,
I think the next manager has to step his authority, and that's what I think. Majority of managers, even like some Rodgers and all, they didn't have a say in the transfer policies. You're saying if look what happened with Rodgers at Liverpool, Balotelli never wanted Balotelli.
Yeah,
he never wanted Marvin Comper.
Did he? He never wanted Luis Suarez and all. Did he? Did they not get an argument or something? Or?
What's his name? It started with C. The lad that he had in the transfer committee. And Corney, he didn't want Andy Carroll as well.
Yeah,
not Andy Carroll. Kenny.
And
no, apologies. Kenny Dalglish signed Suarez and Carroll.
Uh-huh.
And then Rodgers came in the following season. 18 months later he came in. But we'll go back to the manager stuff here. Someone said, look, Frank said it straight. Celtic are not Kilmarnock, F's sake. You should point that out. Suppose. I'm just saying, he knows the domestic game well. Obviously, being the Scotland manager, walking in Kilmarnock, so he has that experience. And you look through this podcast, and like people are talking about Billy Davis. I don't know where that came from. Like that's me and Ogre stuff. Like that's laughable material if we got him.
Well, I know the previous guy says that
going from speculation of Rafa Benitez to Billy Davis like that. That's a different level. Like,
yeah, I mean, I would hope Rafa Benitez would come to Celtic.
But that's
not going to happen.
That's like going from second place in the Scottish League or fourth place in the Scottish League to going down to dropping the bottom divisions and starting all back up again and rebuilding a so-called team. We won't say who that is, but you know that.
Like. Well, I mean, the previous guy said that Celtic aren't Kilmarnock. Fair enough, but at the same time, like Stevie Clark done really good working with some of the young boys at Kilmarnock, especially with Taylor. And Taylor's now a Celtic
and
player.
Brophy done well.
Yeah, even Brophy's brilliant player.
Even Malumbu.
Yeah, it never worked out for him at Celtic, obviously, but he was getting on a bit. What age was he when we got him?
Malumbu, I think he was 21. Could be wrong. I think he was 21.
I think we just brought him in for a bit of backup experience. We knew it wasn't going to be long term. But he did do well with Kilmarnock, and it just shows that what he's done for Scotland. He's got him to the first tournament in about 20 odd year. So, I mean, there's a lot good on the CV that he would accept him as a Celtic manager.
That's a good point there, Red Scott.
Within schools.
Like you did to beat them. Didn't he beat them 3 times or something in the season?
Aye. Like I don't even think they took points off Kelly that season. No, I mean Kilmarnock were a brilliant team back then. I mean, I stay there, so like I'll have a soft side for United. So
you only liked Ayr United because Forrest brother used to play for him, for God's sake.
No, I mean I've been to a few Ayrshire derbies, so stayed in there, and we just hated Kilmarnock. There's a big rivalry between them and Kilmarnock. It's quite mental down there with that rivalry, but it's a good laugh.
No, look, could be worse. Could be going to see Greenock Martin. I'm not against Greenock Martin. I just think their stadium looks like an absolute dive.
No, I've been to their stadium before. It was actually alright. But like
Chippy van around the corner.
They had that chippy van around the corner, and they like Bovril and the pies and all that, and so. But I mean, I went to Stranraer's stadium years ago. I took a bite out of the pie. The mince came out the other end, and I'm like, "Fucking!" I've got a habit of going to games that appear done in stadiums, but I mean, it's a good laugh.
Fair play. Steve Clark's park the most style of football he would have was Frank. I don't even want to say 10 in a row. Jesus. For me to put up his style of football, could promise the magic 10 if he did the job. What magic 10?
Like this guy's taking the piss.
No, Frank's been watching the podcast since day one. Since I started this channel, Frank's been there, so it's all right. Here's a good one. Frank, who would you like to see appoint? It's like, be honest with you, I really want Eddie Howe. I don't think it's going to happen. I really think Eddie Howe would be.
I want Eddie Howe as well. I mean,
the future for Celtic. You know, I'm not thinking. I think a lot of people are looking at this like, oh, get Steve Clark. And do you think Steve Clark is going to be at Celtic for 3 years though? Did this like that? I don't think he'd be able to pull up with. So no, I'm not saying pull up with Celtic. Pull up with Scottish football for 3 years.
Well, Eddie Howe is a young manager in his 40s, and obviously he'll bring quite a lot of younger players into the game, because I mean we've got quite an old team.
Do you know who do well on the left wing for us, and he could get Jordan Ibe.
That's a good shout.
Jordan Ibe, you know. Do you know who would actually take a Celtic up front? You know, you were saying like we need a big man. This lad's not a big man. You know who would take? Troy Deeney.
Oh, that's a good shout, man.
Imagine Troy Deeney in a Glasgow Derby. Get in there, my son. He'd be unreal. No,
he's a Watford legend, man.
He's a hero.
Yeah, so I mean, but he's still worth quite a lot. And for us to get him, we need to invest.
Corney had fitness problems as well, like similar to what happened with Griff. But I would take Troy Deeney's a captain. He's a leader.
Yeah, he's aggressive as well on the ball. I mean, he'll just bolt up that central forward position and just he'll get goals. He's a goal scoring machine.
I would kill to get Ben Foster and Troy Deeney at Celtic. I think them two lads.
Ben Foster would be a good shout as well.
I watched his podcast he done a few weeks ago, and it was brilliant, absolutely brilliant. He done with the lads.
Did you see who Scotland got? We got Che Adams.
He's a good player. The lad in Southampton.
Oh, he's a brilliant player, man. I mean, although a lot of people are saying that he's only gone to Scotland because he got rejected from England, blah blah blah. Like, see, for instance, years ago, Harry Kane got rejected for England, I'd still take him.
Harry Kane had a chance to play for the Republic. He said I think he actually did play for the Republic when he was 15 or 16, and then it's like with Wayne Rooney. Wayne Rooney was approached by Ireland because his granny. No, he's not his granny. His granddad was Irish. It's crazy.
Yeah, I did hear about that. That's why he's a big Celtic fan. I know, because apparently his granddad was a Celtic diehard. So
mental, absolutely mental. Steph, well, it needs to be a manager for that used to be in the top of the league. I thought you were going to say it needs to be a manager that actually doesn't have a laptop. I was getting ahead of myself there.
A relegation escape artist makes him sound like a bloody magician or something.
Like, I think a lot of people underestimate Eddie Howe's type of work he's done. Like, he got Bournemouth from League One up to the Premier League.
Yeah, that's
Bournemouth were a nothing club for a long time. Fair enough, when Redknapp was in charge, and I Redknapp back in the days when, you know, the 80s and stuff like that.
No, but like, at the time when Bournemouth were promoted, you wouldn't have seen that in a million years. You wouldn't have seen that, because you would be thinking that people that get promoted for the Championship, you're thinking Derby, you're thinking Leeds. You know, there's so many that you would have put in front of Bournemouth to get promoted that year.
It's the hardest league in the world, the Championship, by a mile. Like, it's so unpredictable. Like, you're saying, look, and we're going on to the Roy Keane situation. Roy Keane took over Sunderland, but Sunderland were 18 to the table. 18. I think he didn't win. I think it was 12 games or something, and he went on and he won the Championship.
Yeah, there's been times he's had.
No, I know football has changed since then. I know.
It's been times where he has had bad runs for teams, Roy Keane, but you're just thinking in your back of your head, would he be good for Celtic? Would he not? But do you take that risk?
It is a risk taker, and I wouldn't even put him in my top 5. I don't think he's the candidate to be. I know, as much as we keep talking about Roy Keane, because people ask me about Roy Keane all the time. Eddie Howe, Martinez. I love to see Roberto Martinez get. I think Roberto Martinez would be the ideal manager. You give him and Maloney. Maloney can obviously you give. I don't know who you get as your director of football. You know that way. Like, I know there's been the few lads being.
Well, Aberdeen's in for Sven-Goran Eriksson. Did you hear about that?
Yeah, imagine we got Sven. That lad has a great CV. Like, he's obviously worked for England. Was Lazio manager in the early 2000s, playing with, like, the likes of I think Crespo was playing for them. Yap Stam at the time.
Crespo,
what's his name?
Player, man. What a player.
And you know, another great player, Neved. Remember Neved?
Oh, I remember Neved.
Neved was a baller.
Basically, like, they're basically FIFA players. From
That's you thinking of FIFA 03 when Neved was on the cover. I think it was Davids, Neved, and Carlos. I think Giggs was on him 1 year. When Giggs was on it,
I was Ryan Giggs was on it 1 year.
I think it was 2003 or 2004. Gilligan and those folks.
They never had Peter Crouch on it. It was too ugly.
Oh God, you leave Crouchy alone. Crouchy's doing well. He's Paddy Power bets and stuff like that, or he's bet whatever he is.
Yeah, no, he's got a good podcast. Listen to Crouch's podcast, man. I was just having a bit of banter there.
Yeah, he actually has a good personality. I like Crouchy, you know.
I didn't like him when they played for England and that. I just thought he was a git.
Oh, they were overrated him. They overrated him, didn't he? Big time. But he was some player for the Pill. Some player. Like
he was a good player for the Pill and the Spurs and
even Pompey.
Yeah, he was a brilliant player. I just thought he was really irritating. But he's
just an awkward looking thing looking at when he just when he got the ball, but he had some touch on him. That turn, like for a lad, that was like
his volleys were brilliant, man.
Oh, you remember when he was at Spurs, him and Kane and Defoe? Unreal.
I mean, the Spurs had a brilliant team at that time, man. I mean, it was just a shame that they never really had much success in the Premier League back then. But
definitely.
Yeah. Was it? It didn't fit. That's funny as fuck, man. Forget all that Michelin star cooking nonsense when.
But to be honest, what I was going to say to you is that obviously Sturgeon has a plan, obviously the rollout plan for the fans to get back in the stadium. They're saying what, the end of August?
Well, she did say early August, but at the same time, you never know with this thing. I mean, it's like Jekyll and Hyde. You take like one step in a good direction, you go back 5 steps. So, you know, it's come to St. Roxley. What?
Because when we were talking about Morton, your trip to Morton, your way to his, he's like from the St. Roxley.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be happy. That's what I'm going to do. See, when the season starts back up and fans are allowed back in, I'm going to start like
doing away trips.
Stadiums. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to
start. You could go to the bar and talk about this famous shared title.
Yeah, that's what. Right, I'll go to Stenhousemuir. I'll go to Albion. I'll go to Clyde. you
got Aaron. Got Aaron for the
weekend. Definitely go to Aaron and all, man. I mean,
what's the other one that we played? What's that team that are up beside? They're between Dundee and Aberdeen. What's the name of that team? They have the Marine. No, we play. I think did we not get them in the Scottish Cup? I'm trying to think. What's the name of the team? The same colour as Hearts. Not Montrose. Same colour as Hearts.
Brecon.
It's not Brecon, no. It's
no.
What's the name?
Hold on.
What's the name of that team? Adam Matthews scored against them in the Scottish Cup.
This guy killed me. No, but
I broke. That's the
right. I'm going to go to Arbroath. I know this is going to be a mission for me, right? I'll record I'll do vlogs for every single stadium and that, and I'll give a review. No, that's happening next year, man. That's just came into my head, man. That's definitely happening.
Limo does Arbroath. That's down at the seaside.
Where is St. Rox? Where is it?
St. Rox is in the middle of Glasgow, isn't it?
All right, hold on. Right. So I'm going to look this up just now, man. St. Rox.
There's many of the boys on the Celtic state of mind have St. Rox connections.
St. Rox FC.
Yeah, and they have a crack of a jersey as well.
Are they playing green and white? So I'm definitely got them.
Yeah.
West of Scotland Conference, eh?
They do a lot for mental health awareness. They do function things where they get people in, they sit down, talk about people's mental health and all. It's a fantastic club, way to run.
So like the junior team as well. So Proven Mill, thanks very much for that recommendation. I'm going to definitely go up to that stadium this season. Is it Royston? All right, that's not really far to go.
Anthony Royston.
No, it's at Royston in Glasgow. So Royston's in Glasgow.
Scotland have to announce if they were allowed the fans in. See, what's happening there is, Steph, FIFA are doing it, or not FIFA, UEFA are doing a monthly review on the cities. Like, for example, Ireland, the Aviva is going to be one of the cities to host the Euros as well. So what happens is they're going by what's particularly going on at the moment in the world with the cases and the surges and the travel bans and stuff like that, and different airlines and stuff. They need to give fans clarity.
Yeah, so they can book everyone, so they can book hotels, because you do get Scotland fans from different countries. I remember it was years ago, I was coming back from Hampden after a game against Holland, and there was two lads from Norway that came down to see Scotland because they love Scotland.
John Correa, was it? Big John.
It was just two random lads, and I was talking away. It's like, what, do you come to all the games? And they were like, yeah, we go home and anyway. And they were Norwegian, so I was like, oh, fair play.
Them two boys went on the session to Scotland, and they said, we're going to make a Christopher Royer over here. We are going to find some Scottish girls.
That's maybe what they were doing for now.
They were at a wet weekend in Arbroath. That's what it was. from Oslo to Arbroath.
I've never been to Arbroath, but I mean, I hear that they've got some good couples.
There you go.
No, I had to get a joke in.
We're gonna change the channel to come on the Arbroath.
No, but that's definitely happening next season, man. I'm definitely going to random Scottish stadiums.
There's a lad I follow on YouTube. He's a legend. He's a lad from England. He done the whole stadiums, all the stadiums in Scotland. He done the 42 teams, and he done a couple of lower tier teams. He's a nice guy. I got to get his name up. I haven't watched him in ages. He done obviously the two Glasgow teams a couple of times, the stadium tour.
Uh-huh.
Very, he knows he's spot on. Like, obviously he does his research, but he's spot on to watch. Very good.
Yeah, like it's something to definitely do. I'll just do video vlogs of what I think of the stadium and how good the pies are and how shit the pies are. I used to drive a taxi.
Don't be bringing Chris Boy with you, by the way.
No, I wouldn't, man. He'll eat me. Charles, Arbroath Smokies are the best. Yeah, that's why I mentioned it. I mean, like, I've heard so much about it, but
do you know, I've never had a killie pie. I was in the Kilmarnock a couple of times, never had a killie pie.
You're not really missing much, to be honest.
To be honest, I think I need to stay off it anyway. So
yeah, man, this bloody lockdown week, man, just drinking too much, getting pushed.
That's it.
Eating.
That's it. There's someone I was thinking. Right, Jordan Larson. What do you think? Chap is on fire.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people posting about him, saying that is Celtic question mark, and people are saying
he scored 2 goals the other night. He scored 2 goals the other night in the first half for Spartak Moscow. I think he has 12 goals in 20 games and 8 assists.
That's what people are saying. They're saying that, like, can we
the Russian league's unreal. Like, the Russian league is actually a highly rated league. Like, it's coefficient wise, it's serious league. Like,
yeah, they've got CSK Moscow, they've got Spartak,
Dynamo,
St. Petersburg.
Yeah, they once had Anzi. Remember Anzi?
Aye, man.
Samuel Eto'o, and was it Eto'o played for him? Was it Carlos played for him as well?
I think so. I think he did. It was towards the end of his career.
Yeah.
So I mean, they've got a well-established league. Eddie McGeady played as well.
A Spartak, yeah. Remember he played against us and we beat them 3-2 away.
Yeah, it was a good night that night, and we've had some brilliant European results against some well-established teams.
Boy Killy boys and Aldi. I don't know if you can get them over here.
You can get them in Aldi. I haven't seen them in Aldi. I usually do my shopping in Aldi. It must be down in the Ayrshire you get them because that's so I don't know.
Go from a Celtic podcast talking about Arbroath and Killy boys. What's going on?
Random Scottish stadiums, random junior stadiums. You don't know where you're going to get in this, man. I mean,
I think the whole thing about where Jordan's valued at 7.3 million. I think a lot of people will be putting so much pressure on Jordan Larson to deliver, similar to what Henrik done.
Yeah, and he's still a young boy, and that could that could be a make or break a player at his age.
Do you know what? Do you know what's good the other day? I was looking at, obviously Zlatan came out of retirement for Sweden, and obviously with Jordan being on fire for Spartak, he wasn't even in the Swedish squad. Now he's played for the Swedish national team like 6 times, senior team. I just couldn't believe it. I was like, imagine Jordan and Zlatan in front. It would have been unreal.
That would have been mental. I mean,
I was absolutely raging. I was, because I'll tell you a story about Sweden, right? So shopping centre in Clydebank. You know the old part of the shopping centre Clydebank. You know where the post office is on the street,
near the car park in the bus station. Yeah,
there's a couple of the old shinty shops.
There
used to be there's a football shop in there, a sports shop, sell all the jerseys in the little market thing. I ended up buying
it used to be called Intersport. Yeah.
Oh, unreal! Every time I came out to Glasgow, I bought a jersey out of it. I've got many jerseys. I got a Sweden jersey one year out of it. Daily, 25 £25. Larsson's last year as a Sweden player. They had the Umbro right up there. It was I think it was the Euro 2008.
I think Sweden did play that. So did Henrik. So I mean, it's been a good. At the time it was a petition going around for him to play, to come out of retirement. I think it was like 30,000 signatures were signed for Henrik Larsson to come out of retirement. He was in his last year with Helsingborg, because I remember he went to United. I think United was 06, 07, was it? Yeah, it was 06, 07 season. Yeah.
Yeah, he went to United for a couple of games, 12 games or something.
Yeah, it was half a season, and he done really well for United. He scored
against Martin O'Neill. His first game.
Yeah, he's done well. Like for every team he's played, Henrik, he was just magical. He was just a really talented player.
Unbelievable. So Frank has a little educational fact for us, which
he also supplied Gangard, the home of James Edward McCrory and Celtic, and Britain's top goal scorer with 520 goals that never die. Those that live in the hearts, they leave behind. Well, I'm certainly going to go to that stadium next year, because there's a lot of history there, and I'd be well interested to go.
I'm sure the lads on this will hook you up with a couple of rocks, lads, couple of...
Yeah, definitely, man. I mean, just message me on Twitter, or just message Keith, just whatever, man. That's
it. Right, let's go back to Henrik. Do you think? Okay, I know. Jordan's played in the Dutch league, and he's played obviously in the Russian league. Russian league, as I said, it's a good rated league. So with the likes of, I think Spartak Moscow at the moment are second in the Russian league. Just want to check that now. But they're obviously out of Europe because they didn't play the other night in the Europa League. We're playing a domestic game.
Yeah, like Red was saying there, it sounds like a real player in the making. That's true, but at the same time, I think we need to lay off the whole Henrik Larsson ego, though. He needs to come and just do his own job, and that's it. Because that'd be horrible. Do what your dad done. Do what your dad done. You're not the player your dad was. Yeah, I mean, that could make or break a player if he's trying to live in his father's footsteps. I mean, it's a bit like that boxer Chris Eubank Jr. Like he was always in his dad's shadow, and he was just a really shit boxer. So, I mean, you're going to get that way. Obviously, if you're living up to your old man, and he was a legend, he still is at the club. You don't want to go too early. You want to get more established before you actually make the move to Celtic, because of who your old man is.
100%. I think I'll give him another year. Like, this could be a good time as well to get him, considering who the manager's going to be. Like, I hate getting hopes up about players that you kind of want that kind of Celtic connection. Like, the likes of Paddy Roberts was always one that we always wanted back, and it never happened.
Yeah.
And look at where he's gone in his career. Absolutely dirt. Like, I know he's at Derby now, in Rooney's Derby, but like, was it 5 clubs? 5 clubs since he left Celtic. I know he's on a loan move and all that, but like...
Yeah, he wasn't well settled as much as he was at Celtic. I know he was on loan at Celtic, but he had some really good friends, KT being one of them. He really settled in there. And I think we should have got him on loan for a year. To be honest, we should have done what we done with Foster.
Manager, be my guest.
Oh, that's brilliant, man.
Well, unfortunately, I don't know when I'm going to be next over, to be honest with you. I think we're going to have to get the red carpet out of this right when I come over. Remember the people that want to have a drink with me in Scotland's ridiculous. Let's go on the...
It's quite cool to have hospitality, man. That seems like a real good day for me.
That's it. Once you don't bring the killy boys. Right, so 48, this is what Wikipedia's saying now. Don't always believe Wikipedia, folks. It's all edited stuff. 2019 he signed for Spartak Moscow. It's saying that he only has 19 goals, which I think that's incorrect because he scored already 12 goals this season. So
yeah,
I don't know what's going.
There's potential there, but I mean, we need a new scouting team, so we can't just look at somebody.
I really believe. I think they need to bring Johan back as a scout. Definitely. I think Johan. Look at the players that we've got, Scandinavian players over the years. Like the biggest one that hurts me is Eric leaving, Stevchenko leaving. It was an absolute disaster. We should have kept him.
The guy was just top class. A big man was top class, man, and good centre half.
Look at this season. Was it this season? No, previous season. This season playing against Liverpool in the Champions League, like.
yeah, he's just a brilliant player, and it just got to that point where it's like, could we afford to keep him on at that time? That was what it came to. I mean, he had to move on, and obviously because he was a good player. I mean, I hate to say it, but we are a feeder club to these big clubs. So
100%. And I just can't. I think a lot of Celtic fans couldn't accept that 10 years ago. If you said that 10 years ago, you were getting eaten alive for it.
Yeah,
eaten alive. I think it's the way football has gone.
I don't even like saying it now, but I mean, I've got to be honest and stick with facts.
I was only saying to one of the lads I live with, we were talking about Virgil van Dijk, saying Virgil's obviously nearly fit to go ahead for Liverpool, and I was like, Jesus, like Virgil van Dijk at Celtic, people liked him, but people didn't realise how good he was. Like that goal against St. Johnston when he takes on 8 players.
Yeah.
And just the finish is out of this world. That free kick against Hibs, like
he was just a brilliant player. I mean, he had that talent there, and a lot of teams could see that.
I think that's what hurt me the most. The likes of when obviously Hooper went to Norwich. Obviously we lost out on. Obviously when we lost to Malmo, Virgil's last game. Well, it was Virgil's the last European game, and then we played St. Johnson that weekend. But you got the vibe when we got let down in European football. These boys are going to move on, and you had no choice. They want to stay at Celtic, but if a club's coming in with big money and offer you double or maybe triple the wage, go. You're not. These boys didn't grow up as Celtic fans. They've achieved playing Champions League nights for the Hoops. They've achieved playing in derbies. They've achieved medals. Move on. I think we need to try stay away from the attachment of players because it hurts.
Yeah, it definitely does. I mean, like when you see a player, a new sign coming in, and you see he's not playing for the jersey. I mean, they don't really understand what a Rangers Celtic game means to a lot of fans, and some of the foreign players that came in.
I think Oyer knows it.
Yeah, Oyer knows what he's talking about.
You've seen Oyer with a couple of the blocks he done in previous games and the way he's celebrating. And even, do you remember that game when we beat them? I think they were down to 10 men, and it was like towards the end of the game, he pulled in the cracking block goal line. I think it was a goal line clearance, and he was like celebrating like a mad thing. So
he was celebrating like he scored a goal. I mean, that's the kind of players we need at Celtic. But you do get a lot of players that come in from abroad that, like, they're just there to play a game of football, but they obviously, there's been players that lack that on that came in, and there's been no fans in the stadium, so they don't understand what like a Glasgow Derby means to some of the fans.
As I was saying to you as well, not even the fans in the stadium. It's not even they don't even get to have the You know, if you're going to Asda or going to Lidl to pick up a few kiddie pies and they don't get to put the arm around the fan or the arm around, you don't get that experience because of what's going on at the moment. So they just they can only take in what they see on YouTube and previous games and the history in the walls and the trophies and all that. You can take all that in, but having the fans is a different level. It's a different level.
Yep. Yeah, I can't wait for the fans to come back in, because I think for the first 6 months at least, every stadium in Scotland will be packed, and that can only be good for Scottish football. Maybe even reduce the prices to get people in. Maybe, I mean, don't put the prices up.
Are you mad? Reduce the prices? Do you think that maybe
reduce them by a couple of quid or something, man?
I think you're getting ahead of yourself because Lawwell's gone. That's all I think it is.
No, because I'm wanting Celtic Park packed every week. I mean, I'm not wanting like the top tier shirt. You know, I mean, that just be
back to the Ronnie Doyle days.
Yeah, it would just be really depressing, and especially when you've got the opposition team at the end, at the other side of the city, selling out the games every week. They sold out the games every week from third division onwards. So,
I was watching an interview today on Sky Sports News. I don't know if you've seen it. So they've done a thing about Middlesbrough. They were saying that obviously they set up a vaccination centre and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And there was a Scottish footballer called John Hendry.
Yeah,
he's from the next town, right? And he said a great thing about Jock Stein. He said, you know what? Like I'm a massive Middlesbrough fan. I played for Middlesbrough. He played for Middlesbrough like back in the day, like. Mm-hmm. And he's like, the game's on a Wednesday night and you're buzzing, but when you get home, it's like watching a pre-season game without the fans. As he turned around and said, the great Scottish manager, the great Jock Stein, once the manager of Celtic, said football's not without the fans. And it was just like that. I was like, I want to record it. Yeah.
No, I mean,
did you
I didn't watch it. No,
it was only like a literally 60-second interview. But yeah, did you watch the Three Kings yet?
I haven't. Was it on?
It's on Amazon Prime.
I'll definitely watch it because I recently got Amazon Prime, so that would be something to watch.
If you don't know what the Three Kings is, it's about Matt Busby, Bill Shankly, and the great Jock Stein. They're all three heroes in their own. Three Scottish men. That's mad. I didn't even know Matt Busby was Scottish until I watched it.
No, he was.
I knew Shankly was Scottish. I obviously just seen the pictures of Shankly and Jock Stein.
Yeah, he's from Bells Hill. There's a sports centre named after him, Bells Hill, called the Matt Busby Centre. So he had a good run at Man United. Shankly had a good run at Liverpool, and obviously Jock Stein had an amazing run.
I bring a tear to the eye at the end of it. I just have to say the three stories, the way it ends, is just, like, it's weird because you're seeing the likes of Glasgow back in the 50s. You're seeing all this footage of Glasgow, of the slums and the Gorbals and stuff like that. And you see how much the city has developed. I know, obviously, it's nearly 70 years later, but,
Yeah, it's really nostalgic to watch stuff like that, especially watching us win the Cup in '67. I never get bored of that.
I just want to say, speaking of good Scottish managers, I want to say we thoughts are with Walter Smith at the moment and a speedy recovery.
Yeah, he was a really good manager for Rangers for the years, and obviously for Scotland as well. So I'm wishing Walter Smith a speedy recovery as well. Because
obviously he was best friends with Tommy. So
yeah, him and Alan McCoy.
It hits home when you see him obviously carrying Tommy's coffin. So that's why I said I want to give. I said it yesterday as well. I'll say it again. We talked about Walter Smith at the moment and speedy recovery.
Yeah, speedy recovery.
There we go. What's this one? I used to walk past Steve's house.
Yeah, it was a Wales game that night. He had a
1986, wasn't it?
Yeah, he had a heart attack when he was managing Scotland against Wales.
Ninian Park. Watch the film when you get off this. It goes on about an hour and a half. Well worth a watch. Well worth a watch.
Yeah, I'll definitely give it a watch. I
Like
recently got Amazon Prime, so I'll definitely give it a watch.
so the likes of obviously like I know what was the Dundee manager? What was his name? That sadly passed away recently.
That was Bill. Bill, what do you call him? McLean. It was.
Yeah. Was it
I'm
Jim
not sure.
McLean?
It was Jim McLean. It was. Why was I saying Bill? Right, Jim McLean. Right. He had an interview with one of the guys in STV, and they pure lamped the guy. Man, brilliant.
Oh, I've seen that one. Jim McLean.
He
Like
never take any shite.
Like that's a manager that got Dundee United to a European Cup semi-final, and they would have played the Pool in the final only because he lost to Roma in the semis.
Yeah, he was a really hard manager. You know, he was hard but fair. Same as Jock Stein. I mean, you don't get characters like that in the game anymore. But
because Jock Stein ran that club, Jock Stein was the boss. You know, that's the way it was, isn't it? These directors of football and all these other guys that do all the background work. It was literally Jock Stein meets up to you other side. Look, you've heard the story obviously about Jock Stein and Kenny Dalglish.
I'm lost, man.
So basically, the story about Jock Stein, people, if you want to correct me on this, so 1967, a couple of months after, obviously Lisbon, Celtic went. Jock Stein went up to Kenny Dalglish's house, and Kenny Dalglish is a big Protestant, big Rangers fan, and obviously Jock Stein was a Protestant himself. And as I said, I don't care about religion anymore. Don't care about religion. Everybody's all like we have many different religions supporting Celtic. You know, it's the same on the other side as well. But anyways, he went up to the house and he's like, I want you to sign for Celtic. And he's like, I'm afraid to tell my dad his room was just all decked out with Ranger stuff. And he didn't tell his dad, I think, for the whole day. And that was it.
Yeah, Kenny Dalglish, he was a legend for Celtic and Liverpool. So
King Kenny. And best ever Scottish footballer of all time, King Kenny.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Just because
they meant the World Cups, you got to meant the World Cups, they meant the European Cups, you know.
Yeah,
obviously Caesar be up there, Danny McGrain be up there as well.
Dennis Law.
Yeah, Dennis Law. I don't know. I was never a big fan of Dennis Law. I don't know. I think the whole Man United thing just puts me off.
I'm a Liverpool fan, but at the same time, I'm not going to dwell with the fact he did help Man United to win a European Cup and several, obviously, leagues as well. So he played alongside George Best.
Phenomenal player.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But the thing was, look, George Best was one of the best, but look, I always felt like Jinky was very underrated towards George Best, and everybody knew how good Jinky was.
Yeah, Jinky was phenomenal. Like there's so many Celtic greats. He's just it does bring a tear to your eye when you actually watch previous documentaries, because it's nothing like it is now. I mean, we'll look back on the Barcelona game, 2-1 game, and we'll be like, that was one of the proudest moments. Like,
I still think I know people will probably think I am absolutely off my head. I'm off my head, but I still think that the emotions, I wasn't at either of the games, right? I think the emotion of winning the treble was bigger than Barcelona to me. I know it was 125 years. We beat the best team in world football at the time, and the occasion in it, and the way we done it, the way that we were literally had feck all possession, feck all passing, like that stats board just gives you the shivers, like when you look at the Barcelona statistics, Celtic statistics. But I just think the way we done it, the treble, Tom Lodge, I just, that's always going to sink in me.
Yes, it was brilliant. The invisible treble, I mean, that was just, nobody's ever going to do that again. Like,
and that's it. And that's why I think certain fans, as much as we were disappointed this season, we've been let down by the club, let down with the players, we've been let down on and off the pitch about everything what happened, but we can look back and say, Jesus Christ, what an achievement. We won 4 trebles. And every time when I think of these trebles, I think of every time when we won the treble, I think of these Celtic fans that got the tattoos, got the treble, then got the quad, you got the double treble, and they're probably saying to themselves, "Jeez, they're gonna have to get another one done." You know?
No, I mean, we could win a treble again with a new manager. I mean, it could happen. It's all about being optimistic and believing in your team. I mean,
I just think we get carried away sometimes. I just think we expect, and that's what I think this season we're expecting. And you gotta just take every game as it comes. You know?
Yeah, I mean, I'm actually excited about the Scottish Cup and the prospect of winning the Scottish Cup this season. That's what we've got down to.
I'll be honest with you, man. I'm just gonna cut it to the point here. I think I'd rather if the Scottish Cup was never on and just get the season on and done with, so we can move forward. I know it's the Scottish Cup. We could go five in a row there.
I would say get rid of the Scottish Cup if we could. If it's going to push everything along, especially with the Scotland team, because I think that the Scotland team should be in a camp for 3 weeks before they even think about going to Euros.
100%. I think every team, especially because they haven't been in a major competition since 1998, they need to have that gelling. Definitely. there is players that play for different teams that need to get on and be one unit, and you can see that. You've seen that with the Scottish team when they beat Serbia, with the dressing room, the way they came as a country. You can see the emotions the Scottish people got for qualifying. I was delighted for you. I was over the moon for you.
Yeah, I was crying, and I was all that emotion for over 20 years just came out, man, and it was just goosebumps even thinking about it now, man. I mean, I'll still watch that video.
Yes, I can boogie.
I used to hate that song. I know I used to thought it was really cheesy, but when the Scotland players put it, I'm just like, it's one of my favourite songs now. So, I mean, I'm not really much a pop music fan, but
100%. I think they know that as well.
So they need to make it. Yeah, absolutely, 100%. But at the same time, we've still got quite a lot of competition in the Scottish Cup because you get these mid-table teams, lower table teams.
Well, that's the worry, though. It could be another Ross County on the horizon, though. It's the same coaching staff there besides Lennon. You've seen it, like the set pieces. These boys get. I don't want to pick a particular player. Just doing an example. I'm doing this as an example. Say Laxall gives away a foul, 30 yards out. You get your argument. Say you get just say you get Hearts players, right? Tynecastle Scottish Cup, not semi-final, 5th round, because the semi-final is going to be in Hampden. I don't know if they're going to do it in actually Hampden. Don't know if they're still going to go ahead with it the way that they done it last season. But they just get a corner. They're going to try everything up there.
Yeah, I mean, these teams.
Christoph Berra. Is it Christoph Berra?
Yep.
There you go. And you're seeing what Hearts can cause again. We've played Hearts already in the Scottish Cup, and that's a championship team. So we really need to take. I think this out straight. Celtic cannot rotate the squad around the Scottish Cup. They need to go out with full squad.
Well, there'll be teams thinking like us, right? We've not had a good season, but the Scottish Cup is still there for the taking. There'll be teams that'll be thinking like that for years, right? We need a good Scottish Cup run because our team doesn't do well in the league. So they'll have a.
Do you think does it give you the vibe of 1995 all over again? That were like a kind of a disappointing season. We have to cover the Scottish Cup. Does it give you that kind of vibe?
It does give me a bit of vibe. Yeah, I mean,
I've been feeling that for the last few months since we knew the league was over. I was like, this is going to be Scottish Cup, has to be done, even though I want.
But the worst Celtic result like I've ever experienced. I don't like to bring much negativity, but it'll be the League Cup 94 against Raith Rovers. That was the worst.
In Ibrox.
Was it Ibrox?
It was in Ibrox, yeah. I think it was Ibrox. Right. No, not Ibrox. I'm thinking. I think they did play it. They played them in the.
Because I remember there was something about there was some repairs getting done to Hampden that time just before the South Stand was knocked down. I'm not sure if it was Ibrox or not.
I don't know if it's. I know there was an embarrassing one there. There's a picture of obviously the great McStay walking off the pitch. I don't know. I thought it was Ibrox.
No, I know Collins and McStay played in that game. I know that Pat Bonner played in that game as well.
Well, man.
Grant. Yeah, and Peter Grant played. Who else played? Andy Walker played. I know.
John Collins. Collins.
Aye. So, but our head wasn't in it at the time.
Probably young Simon Donnelly then as well.
I'm not sure if Simon Donnelly came in. It was either 95 or 96 he came in.
94.
Yeah, was it?
94, Lou McCarty gave me his debut. He came off the bench against Hibs.
All right. Yeah, somebody just
the only reason I know is because when I interviewed him, I had to kind of learn it all up. So, yeah, that's it. Right, folks, we're going to leave it there. It's been a long podcast, enjoyable podcast. If you want to buy any t-shirts, folks, please give me a mail or drop me a message or drop me an email. There's platforms there. You'll get me somehow. 12 quid a year. Okay, if 70 people buying them, the girls are loving them, the lads are loving them. Even kids, if we even have kid sizes, that's how we're going well. It's just basically just to celebrate the page being 10 years old on Facebook. That's all it's for. Yeah, so I just want to say thanks very much for Liam tuning in tonight, coming on, having a laugh. A massive shout out to everyone that's watched. If you're only watching this for the first time, subscribe to the channel. Really, really appreciate it. If you could give us a follow on a different social media platform as well. If you don't have us on a different platform. I know Steph does. Steph has me there. When am I back next? It's a good question, actually. When am I back next? Let me try to get something in on Friday night, Liam. If you're around Friday night, we'll talk about the international football, hopefully.
I think so. What we'll do is when I'm posting the link to this podcast, when I'm retweeting it, I'm going to tag St. Rocks FC in it as well, just because of obviously the
affiliation with the boys that have been in it.
Yeah, it's I've just looked up the history of it. It's like obviously. What's that guy's name? But I mean, was that a nickname he had?
It's Hadji.
Oh, Hadji. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'll obviously mention Hadji as well, and because he did mention the history of the club, and I didn't think that there was that much history of the club, a club in Royston. But I'm going to check them out next season, definitely.
Bring away. Yeah, hopefully. I'll email you, Keith, and order a t-shirt. I'll send you the link anyway, Red Scotland. It's going to say, yeah, we'll come back Friday night. Hopefully it's a win for the Republic. Hopefully it's a win for the Tartan Army. We can go into the weekend optimistic for the second round of fixtures. I'm just hoping, and I know we didn't talk about this yet before we end this. I just hope the players come back with positive cases. Yeah,
I'm just hoping that as well. That's a risk you take.
I know we don't really have much to play for now, but still.
No, it'd be certainly good if players had more game time, and we don't need any setbacks.
Definitely. I know it's great to see I know it's great to see James. He's not in the Scotland squad just yet. He needs to get in. He needs to get a bit of time. I still look. I understand. I completely understand where Steve Clark's coming from with Turnbull. I think he's wanting Turnbull because the Scottish 23s, they're pretty decent side at the moment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they are. The future is looking really good for the Scotland setup, and I'm just hoping that it does continue. Especially, I hope the Euros cheers me up during the summer after the catastrophe of the season we've had.
I'm gonna buy myself a cheap Scotland jersey from like DHK or something. I'm gonna get myself.
I'll send you a link. Do vintage jerseys. They do vintage international ones. They do vintage Celtic ones and ones from abroad. I'll send you a link, but it's 25 quid a jersey.
I'll get it for 15 quid on that website. Get it for free. I'm only gonna wear it a couple of times. I might get the baby blue Scotland away jersey.
Oh, send.
It's a belt.
My favourite one was Euro 96 one.
That's pure vintage.
with a tartan.
I seen it the 98 one when you had the crest in the middle.
Yeah, do you remember in 2007 during the Euro 2008 campaign? I had the navy
cross
blue with the gold. That was really good. I liked that.
The white one with the baby blue. The one you scored against France away. The McFadden goal, was it?
Yeah, that was alright, but I just liked the home man just because.
I wasn't a fan of Diodora. I just didn't. Every time I think of Diodora, I just think of like Roy Keane's boots. That's all I think of.
I had a pair of Diodoras when I was a boy.
First ever pair of football boots were Umbros.
Marco van Basten wore them.
Umbros, and I loved the 2002 Preds. The Pred Armenians, best football boots of all time.
They were 60 quid at the time, but they wanted
had them
cheap.
I had them. I spent 200 quid in one time for them. I thought they were unreal. I ended up actually getting the dark red ones with the silver. Paolo Maldini. I was going to say Paolo Maldini. Not the other lads that sings for Scottish lad. I always get confused the two of them. Paolo from AC, we're going to call him. Paolo had that version, and then I obviously got the cream ones that Bex used to have as well. The cream with the black bits in it. Then I ended up getting the normal ones. The normal ones are just them boots. The Predator Manias, best football boots ever.
Yeah, they're very noticeable, you know. And,
they're fucking like the reason why they changed the studs in them because people are getting bad injuries, and people are saying that actually was the because of the length of the studs as well. They had to take them off because it was down to causing ankle problems and stuff like that.
Yeah, especially where you get the AstroTurf surfaces now that professionals play in, they tend to shy away from the full metal studs. It's like kind of half metal, half mold studs they use now. So
I remember I had a pair of the F50s that Nakamura wore, the boots that he scored against Man United, not the actual boots, the replica boots. Used to get these like stud yoke. You can change the studs to like steel and mollies and all that. This is before they changed everything all around. But F50s, unreal boots.
They were really good as well, and obviously they belong to a really famous and amazing player. What's your favourite Nakamura free kick? Is it United? I would say United, yeah.
What about the one when he wins the league at Rugby Park?
Well, I mean, it was a brilliant goal, but it was just the way we won the league, you know. And that, so we knew we were going to win the league that season. There was just something like in the air, man, because we had a magnificent team. But the one against Man United was just brilliant. I know it wasn't a free kick, but the goal against the Rangers when we won 2-1.
The left foot.
That was brilliant volley, man.
That night was just amazing.
Big Jan with the header.
Like it's just even the motor at the game. McManus, the pure legend, stuck in.
Oh, it was superb, absolutely superb. But like the days are behind us, and we've got to move on and hopefully make more memories.
But you know, it hurts though because when you put up like say a couple of seasons ago winning the treble and stuff, and people are just like they were the good old days. I'm like, it was only last season, mate. Like seriously, it's only a bit of bad form. As I keep saying, the iconic words: form is temporary, liquidation is permanent.
Yep.
Liquidation is permanent.
Never truer word said.
That's it. Well, we'll leave it there, folks. Nearly 2 hours. That's been a long podcast. But I just want to say a massive thank you to everyone. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, go ahead and hopefully be back on Friday night for the old international podcast. We might see, can we get a few quizzes? Might actually get people to ask us a few questions as well. Can we see how the football knowledge is? So Red Scotland in McIntosh. Even though I couldn't pronounce his name the last time, I was like McTishish. Is that McTishish? Ian McTishish.
Thanks so much, guys, for tuning in, and we had a good laugh tonight. So hopefully there's more interaction on Friday, and we'll dig up a few like knowledge questions on Friday.
No, let them dig it up. Let them ask us the questions, because it means that I won't look at my phone. You won't look at your phone, and I'd see if I actually notice, and it'll literally be like,
that's actually a really good idea.
That's it. Do you know what I was watching last night? Neville and Carragher doing the Soccer AM shootout thing at Christmas last year. Did you see it?
No, it was a good.
So Carragher versus Neville versus Bullard. You know when they go out and score the goals and the volley and the diving headers and all that. Give it a watch. It's gas.
No, I'll get a watch, man.
It goes on for about 10 minutes, but like Jimmy Bullard, what a player! Jimmy's funny as hell.
It was class.
We fecked up on him.
I know we did. We could have got a good 2 years out of him. Was
it yourself that told me the story about Jimmy Bullard? About why he didn't sign? I think it was Scott. I think it was Scott. Was it Scott?
No, I think it might have been Scott. I know that I've said a couple of times why players haven't signed, such as Johnny Russell, etc.
I actually like Johnny Russell. He would have been deadly for us.
Yeah, we just never paid the extra 50k wanted. So, but
it's mad. It's mad. I think with Turnbull as well. Like, we still had a chance. I went back in for him. Like, and look, he's sort of McTush. McTush. I was calling him McGuinness.
We better wrap up, man, and we're talking.
We'll talk about the Jimmy Bullard story another time. It's nothing too serious. Basically, I'm just saying now. So when he went up to Celtic in 2010 to sign with the club with the outfit, I don't know why, because he was in his late 20s.
You played golf at St Andrews and all that time he was up.
He went up to Celtic, and the reason why they didn't sign him is because he ended up telling them they end up leaking it what the goalkeeper was on. They were saying they were going to give him the highest wages, and even though the goalkeeper at the time was on more money, I think Burge was on more money.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why they didn't sign him.
Yeah, there's no point in dwelling stuff like that, but I mean, it's just a bit of a bastard fit.
I just wanted him to do the Sky Sports picture when he has the shorts up to his nipples. That's it.
Oh, it's hilarious, man.
Just imagine the lineup. It's an old firm day, and you see Jimmy Bullard there with the thing up to there.
Oh, it was some guy, man.
Oh God.
Anyway, thanks very much, guys. It was brilliant to be back on the show again.
See you. Take care.